Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here. In today's video, we will delve into a concept that has been making waves in discussions about representation in ableism. Inspiration porn. Coined by the disability rights activist Stella Young, this term sheds light on a pervasive issue in our society. How individuals with disabilities are objectified for the inspiration of others. In this video, we'll unpack the complexities surrounding inspiration porn, examining its impact on the perception of disability, the reinforcement of stereotypes, and the toll it takes on those who are in the center of this narrative. Join me as I navigate through the layers of this phenomenon, seeking a deeper understanding of the importance of authentic representation and the need to move beyond a narrow lens that limits the rich diversity within the disabled community. In recent years, the concept of inspiration porn has gained attention in discussions about representation, ableism, and the perception of individuals with disabilities in today's society. Coined by the disability rights activist Stella Young, this term refers to the objectification of people with disabilities solely for the benefit and motivation or the inspiration of non-disabled individuals. A complex issue that requires careful consideration to understand its impact on society. The portrayal of individuals with disabilities and the reinforcement of stereotypes. At its core, inspiration porn exploits the achievements, daily activities, or mere existence of individuals with disabilities, framing their lives as inspirational solely by the virtue of their disabilities. While the intention might seem positive, mean to motivate or uplift others, the fundamental problem lies in the dehumanization and objectification of these individuals. This phenomenon has multifaceted repercussions. It perpetuates the idea that people with disabilities must constantly exceed society's low expectations, serving as motivational tools for others rather than being recognized as individuals with their own ambitious desires and complexities. By reducing their identity to a mere symbol of perseverance, it overlooks their autonomy and humanity. Moreover, it creates a skewed perception of disability, reinforcing a binary view of the world. one of the disabled people and in need of constant praise for basic actions, and the non-disabled as the standard in which these individuals are measured. This narrow lens erases the diversity and individuality within the disability community, disregarding the spectrum of experiences and capabilities that exist. The problematic nature of inspiration porn becomes even more evident when considering the emotional toll it takes on those at the center of this narrative, justified and turned into a symbol of inspiration can be exhausting and demoralizing. It places undue pressure on individuals with disabilities to continuously perform acts of inspiration to validate their existence. It diminishes their ability to be seen and appreciated as complex individuals. To combat the spread of inspiration porn, it is crucial to shift the focus from perceived inspirational acts to a more holistic representation of people with disabilities. Their story should be portrayed as authentic, showing the diversity of experiences, challenges and triumphs, and ambitions that make up their life. Authentic representation encourages understanding, empathy, and respect, allowing the acknowledgement of their individuality without being objectified for the gratification of others. In conclusion, the phenomenon of inspiration porn is a complex issue rooted in the way society perceives and represents individuals with disabilities. It is essential to recognize the dangers of this concept as it perpetuates harmful stereotypes, objectification, and undermines the personal autonomy of individuals with disabilities. A more inclusive, respectful, and authentic portrayal is crucial to foster a society that values individuality and diversity of its members. That is an explanation of inspiration porn that I wrote, and now I will talk about how inspiration porn had an impact on my life. When I was in high school, I had no idea what inspiration porn was, and in fact it wasn't even a term back then. So I played into the stereotype of an inspirational person with a disability. I was determined to walk across the stage at my high school graduation. Tell everyone how I could walk across the stage. A few days before my graduation, I was approached by a newspaper reporter, and he asked me to do a story about me graduating high school. I was ecstatic. This is what I always wanted. I wanted to tell my story. Loved educating people about disabilities, and I thought this was a great way to educate people with disabilities. So proud of that article. And then I got to college, and I went to college with a lot of people with disabilities. I showed that article to everyone, and the reaction wasn't what I expected. They were like, so what? You graduated high school. And then I came to realize they were right. All I had done was graduate high school. Nothing that special. That was my first introduction to inspiration porn. And I do like that story. I think it came from a good place. I think the reporter had very good intentions. I mean, I still have a copy of it, and occasionally I'll show people the article, but I always preface by saying this is inspiration porn. And one thing I learned from that experience is once you tell your story to a newspaper person or a TV person or whoever, you kind of lose control of the narrative. As I've gotten older and more aware of the perception of people with disabilities, I have become aware of how I present myself matters. I don't want to perpetuate the stereotype of an inspiration porn, or the super cripple, or the bitter cripple, which we'll explore in upcoming videos. But I have a hard time because I have done some really great things, really amazing things, and I struggle because is that really inspiration or is that inspiration porn? For example, I moved to Chicago for 3 years. I moved from a town of 1,200 to the third largest city in America. I knew no one. I didn't know a single soul when I set foot in Chicago. I had no PCA help. I had nothing. And I managed to make it on my own for 3 years. Some say that is inspirational. It was hard, I'll give them that. It was very challenging. I went through a lot of ups and downs. But was it inspirational? I'm not sure. A lot of people moved to Chicago. But I did have a disability. And the truth of the matter is that I did present a lot of obstacles that other people don't have to deal with. I don't have an answer. Friend tells me that was inspirational, but I honestly don't know. Another thing I see on YouTube, a lot of people play into inspiration porn. I have seen a number of disabled creators say things like, my disability never gets me down, or I don't think about my disability, I think of my abilities. And maybe that's true for them. Like, I know that there's lots of times I think of my disability. I love being disabled. Wouldn't change it for the world. But there are some dark moments where I'm like, Jesus, I know people don't gravitate towards it, but it's the was like, gee, I wish I wasn't disabled. I mean, the honest truth, I think, is most everyone goes through this. Even non-disabled people go through moments where they say, gee, I wish my life wasn't like this. But inspiration porn doesn't leave room for that, and that's why it's harmful. I know for me, part of the reason I became alcoholic is because I thought I had to live up to be inspirational. I thought I had to be that inspiration. And when I couldn't live up to it, I went in a spiral. I thought I was a failure. A lot of people with disabilities say, my disability can't stop me. We'll do a whole video on that. But I think that saying is very harmful. If you're the person with a disability, what if your disability does stop you? Looking back, my disability 100% stopped me from having a job. Because I've been taught all my life that I shouldn't blame my disability, I blamed myself. I thought it was my fault I didn't get a job. But in reality, my disability is too severe to work. I know that. Now I can say that. But 10 years ago, I thought it was my fault. And that sent me into alcoholism. And if you want to hear that story, you can click on this link right here. So anyway, that's my take on inspiration porn. Again,